What's going on, guys? This is going to be our review of What If, the new Marvel Disney Plus show. We're going to be doing each episode. We're going to start off with episode 1. We are going to be talking about spoilers, so if for some reason you have not seen it and do not want to be spoiled, come back and check out this review after you have seen each episode, or episode 1 in this case. And if you don't care about spoilers, continue on, and we're going to just get into it starting now. The whole premise of this show I found very interesting, taking place in an alternate reality on a different Earth where, we have what-if situations, no pun intended, but I just love the whole idea. It's a really interesting idea for a show just because we all know what happens in the MCU films. So just the whole idea constructed behind, what if this happens or what if that happened? Now getting into this episode, the whole idea of Peggy getting the super serum, I thought that was a really interesting idea to start out the whole thing. And of course, what better way to not start off this show with Captain America, the First Avenger. But yeah, this episode was pretty good. I didn't think it was very well paced because everything happened so quickly and there wasn't really much character development. But I think also on the flip side, it's only 35 minutes long, and they rely on, they're relying on you to remember all the events from the first Captain America movie anyway. So it didn't bother me that much, but just from a pacing perspective, it wasn't the greatest. But I thought the animation was tremendous, and I like a lot of the things they did in it, where obviously now Peggy is Captain Carter. And also I love how Howard Stark comes up with the Hydra Stomper, and Steve Rogers is in the suit. It's really cool and nifty, obviously, because he's got the Tesseract to build off of that. But there's a lot of cool stuff in this first episode.
Yeah, you touched on a lot of things that I think also. I really like the animation. The style was really cool. I think it is very suited. I think the style of cartoon just definitely fits the whole tone of everything. But I thought it was interesting that they kind of essentially just remade the first Avenger movie, but with a few things flipped around and an Iron Man thrown in there basically for a second. Yeah. But overall I thought this first episode was pretty decent, and yeah, you mentioned it. The pacing was a little bit off, and I kind of agree. But overall, I thought it was pretty fun and interesting. Just like you said, little things here and there, one little twist. I really like how when the Watcher was explaining in the beginning, he's when he asked Peggy if you want to leave the room, and then she does, and he's right there. That's what changed everything, right there. He pointed it out. So I kind of like the narration in the beginning. I thought it was interesting. And but like I said, I think they essentially just remade the first Avenger movie just with a few things flipped around here and there.
Right. No, for sure. And I also thought it was really interesting too. We mentioned the Hydra Stomper. That was really cool. I did there were some really cool nods, like when Peggy catches Bucky about to fall off the train, and he's like, "Hey, you almost ripped my arm off," or something like that. Obviously, that's exactly what happened when he fell off the train. Avenger, he got his arm replaced with vibranium and became the Winter Soldier. So, there were a lot of cool touches, but it was interesting too to see. We of course we got Red Skull, and also too we got to mention the voice cast. They did get most of the actors back. Most of them. Obviously, we didn't get Chris Evans back as Steve Rogers, but pretty much everyone. And also too, Red Skull is Ross Marquand, I believe his name is, and he's the one who actually voiced Red Skull in Infinity War and Endgame. So. Yeah. That was the same. So I guess technically we got somewhat the same, just not the first Avenger, not Hugo Weaving. But yeah, I love that they got a lot of the original cast back, and we even got Bradley Whitford as the jerk, the general or whatever he was. Not the general, but the guy who just dismisses Peggy until she starts doing a great job. I believe he was also Agent Carter as well. So I remember my first. Maybe a lot of you might have the same thing. I remember my first touch with Bradley Whitford in any kind of film was Billy Madison as Eric, the villain in that film. But yeah, no, I really liked the voice cast in this. I'm really glad they were able to get most of them back. And again, I really enjoyed, even though it wasn't Chris Evans, I really liked the chemistry between Peggy and Steve again. I felt that, even though, again, we talked about the pacing wasn't there, 35 minutes. It is what it is, but I really did. That's really what brought me back into it, even though it's a whole new spin on the what-if scenario of this. I really did dig the chemistry between those two. It's still, even though Steve doesn't get the super serum, he's still Steve Rogers at the end of the day. He's still a good guy at heart. And I did really enjoy that chemistry, and they're just terrific together. I really love that relationship in the MCU. It's one of the strongest, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the way they handled that between Steve and Peggy. Like, obviously, Peggy now is the much stronger physical person in this, but Steve is still strong mentally, and like his own character. Like, I was a little bit surprised. I'm like, why is he still around if he's not the super soldier Rogers? But like, I mean, that's not a big thing. So it's like the fact that he was still in the story was kind of cool. Yeah, and they gave him like that. You know, they gave him something to do with the Iron Man suit,
the Hydra Stomper suit. Yeah, no, and I love that. I love when they're working together and they're fighting in the battles. We kind of got that whole montage that we got from Captain America: The First Avenger, where they were just laying out all of Red Skull's or the Hydra forces and all that. So that was all great. I loved seeing, you know, Peggy embracing her super soldier powers and just kicking the crap out of Hydra with the help of Hydra Stomper of Steve Rogers' character. That was really great. And again, the animation just really drew me in. It wasn't the strongest first episode, but it was enough to pull me in and get me like, okay, I'm invested in the idea for the show. And also just touching upon what you said in regards to the voice actor who does the Watcher, Jeffrey Wright. He was, I mean, he didn't narrate like the whole show or anything, but in the minimal amount of time he had, I really felt his presence in there, and I love where he was pointing things out. And he's just a great actor. I'm also really looking forward to seeing him next year as Commissioner or Sergeant Gordon in the new Batman film with Robert Pattinson, and he's just a great actor.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, his acting or his voice acting was good. All the voice acting was good. All like the Howling Commandos, you know, see some familiar faces from the movie.
Dugan,
I thought the fight scenes were really good. In this, like
absolutely.
Mostly Peggy, obviously doing it a little bit with the Hydra Stomper too, but I thought it was really well choreographed and like looked really sick. And when she like chucks the motorcycle into the building, that looked awesome.
Oh yeah. I was reminded a little when she threw the motorcycle. It was kind of reminded me of Age of Ultron, where Steve Rogers threw the motorcycle and said that just slipped. Kind of reminded me a little. There were some nods and stuff like that, but yeah, no, there were. I mean, look, the choreography. I mean, it's an animation. Was it anything like Winter Soldier? No, but it was still good. It was good. Yeah, but I'm not going to compare an animation to one of the greatest hand-to-hand combat films I've personally ever seen action-wise. So. But I still thought, especially for animation, it was really well done. I really enjoyed it, you know, and I'm just really looking forward to the rest of the series. And aside from the pacing and some character development, but again, it really relies on you. You know the history, and you know all that, so it's not really like focused on that, which I got. But
the show is not what if you never knew anything about the Marvel universe. Yeah, like, exactly. It's relying on you to know that stuff.
Right. No, for sure, and. Yeah, like I said, it was a pretty good first episode. Like I said, I'm really invested, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the storyline what ifs that they have for the rest of the series. It's just I'm very invested at this point.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this review. Definitely be on the lookout. We're going to be reviewing each one. If you don't want to miss them, hit the notification button. Also, subscribe to our channel. If you can hit the like button, it really does help us out in the algorithm. We'd really appreciate it if you feel like we've earned it. And also, let us know in the comment section what your favorite part of the episode was. We'd love to know. Or also let us know, too, what you think they could improve upon in later episodes, or what could have been improved upon in this episode. I'd love to hear from you guys, and can't wait to see you guys on the next episode. See you guys next time.